right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Downtown chaos. Illegal fireworks shot at people and cars. Tonight, the man who held both titles of St. Louis mayor and police chief weighs in on the city's youth crime problem.
But we need to do more. We need to involve more people, and we need to do that now.
Rain misses much of the metro area this afternoon when the next significant chance of rain returns to the bi-state region.
Our top story, a teen fights for his life.
Extremely tough. It's hard to watch him.
His parents' message to the driver who hit their son and drove off. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush, and all red is off tonight. Tonight, St. Louis police are looking for the driver who hit the fluorescent teen. It happened in North City as the family celebrated the 4th of July. Our Robert Townsend spoke to the boy's parents just hours ago. He's live now outside Children's Hospital. Robert.
Mike, Amani Clark's parents have been at this hospital by their son's side for the past 2 nights. They just want him to pull through. For most of the day, the 4th of July had been a fun holiday for 14-year-old Amani Clark and his family.
We were visiting family for 4th of July. We had just gotten there. They were popping bottle rockets.
But around 8 Tuesday night, a tragic turn.
When they were running back and forth, I didn't see them.
Police say a review of nearby surveillance video showed Amani playing with fireworks, running into the street between vehicles as he ran from an exploding firework and was hit by a car. The driver in the older model gray SUV left the scene.
An accident is an accident, but the way y'all did him, that wasn't no accident. Y'all rolled him over and kept going. So y'all have no remorse.
It happened near the intersection of Shreve and Lee Avenues in the Penrose neighborhood in North St. Louis.
He has a fracture to his skull. He has a fracture to his face, and he has brain bleeding. Extremely tough.
I seen his shoes in the street.
16-year-old Brandon Clark ran to help his injured brother.
I picked him up from the car, bring him around the corner, and then called for my mom.
Police rushed the boy to a hospital due to a shortage of citywide ambulances that night. An SLMPD spokesperson says police, fire, and EMS were inundated with a higher than normal volume of calls given the 4th of July holiday.
They acted pretty quickly. They were able to put my son in the back of the car, and we trailed him here. I'm appreciative of them, and I thank the officers who helped us.
Amani's cousin praised drivers. She says routinely speed through this neighborhood would stop.
St. Louis is getting out of control with the reckless driving.
Amani's parents pray for their son.
Any tip of help so we can get some justice for Amani.
They tell me their son remains in critical condition at this hour. Now, anyone with any information about that hit-and-run driver or that gray SUV should pick up the phone and call St. Louis Police. We're live in the Central West End. I'm Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
You're taking a live look now over downtown St. Louis. Skies are a bit cloudy, but calm after some storms in the bi-state this afternoon. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is here with a look at our forecast. And Scott, are we in the clear for the rest of the night?
There's still a couple of little stray showers out there, but nothing substantial, and certainly nothing like what we saw this afternoon just east and southeast of St. Louis as those pretty intense thunderstorms popped up. And while they didn't produce a lot of severe weather, they sure did put down some rainfall. What's out there right now, though, is not putting down a whole lot of rainfall, and what of it there is mostly over the farm fields or the peach orchards as you go up into Calhoun County and over into Montgomery County. Where did the heavy rain go today? It was just east and south of St. Louis. Over at Scott Air Force Base, about a half an inch, but you go down into Marissa, Illinois, nearly 3 inches there. Aviston about 2, heading down towards Farmington, some spots in St. Genevieve, St. Francis County, picking up 2 to 3 inches of rain as well. There's a brief shower chance for the next hour or two. Not anything significant, though. Mainly quiet for Thursday into Friday, but by later Friday night into the weekend, rain chances will pick back up. We're timing that out for you. Coming up in just a bit, Mike.
And you can stay up to date with the Weather First forecast anytime. Just text the word weather to 314-425-5355, and we'll send you a link. Ameren was hoping to have the power fully restored tonight from this weekend's storms, but thousands are still in the dark and without air conditioning. Right now, around 4,000 customers in Missouri and 800 homes in Illinois are still affected. After 4 days without power, frustrations are growing.
I did not think it was going to take this long, because when I called them, they said that they had help coming in from Ohio and Illinois, and they said we're going to get on as quickly as possible. And I was like, okay, great, then everything will be okay by Monday or Tuesday.
Ameren says they're working to safely restore power to customers as soon as possible. Tonight, St. Louis police, fire, and EMS officials are looking back at response times during this weekend's deadly storms. Public safety leaders outlined the timeline of their efforts to save a woman trapped under a fallen tree in the Grove. The first crews didn't arrive on scene until 35 minutes after the first call was made to 911. That woman died. Crews say low staffing levels and a flood of emergency calls led to logistical issues, and they're urging the public not to hang up when on hold with 911.
If they call and they hang up and then they call back, they're going to the back of the line, and that's causing a lot of challenges and frustration on the public's end.
The city has 21 available phone lines to take 911 calls. Any calls after that are routed through a touch-tone answering service or forwarded to dispatchers in nearby locations. The city plans to open a new consolidated 911 center in 2026. Tonight, it's a video you only see on 5 on Your Side. The chaotic moments during 4th of July celebrations downtown, including illegal use of fireworks, explosions, and a joyride on construction equipment. 5 on Your Side's Brent Solomon joins us live downtown now after speaking with a former mayor and police chief who is calling for change. Brent.
Well, Mike, I just had an extensive conversation with former Mayor Clarence Harmon. Now 83 years old, he says right now St. Louis is at a crossroads with a golden opportunity to spark change. On the night of the 4th of July, young people taking over the streets of downtown. The moments of chaos captured and now quickly spreading on social media.
I used to always say, if we lose downtown, we'll lose the city. And I think the time is nigh. The time is right here for us to collectively understand that.
And I shared some of the videos with St. Louis's first black police chief and former Mayor Clarence Harmon.
If you were the police chief today, what would you be doing a day after that video?
Well, the day after that video is, well, I'm going to try to find out where were my police officers? Why didn't you see some of them when you saw all of that?
On top of people illegally shooting fireworks out of cars, into buildings, and at each other, someone stole a scissor lift and drove it down Market Street. Others set at least 2 porta potties on fire. Add to that 2 separate non-deadly shootings, one of them leaving the Bank of America building on Market Street with damage from a bullet. It comes weeks after police released this photo of a separate incident. Teens toting guns following a deadly mass shooting downtown. Still no word of any arrests.
Well, Wild West kind of attitude, we'll do what we want to do, with their understanding that nobody else is going to do anything about it. But there needs to be a plan, publicly broadcast, talking about what it is we need to do. We need to have a whole lot of people from the community, in government, in the churches, in the schools, the mayor, police chief, political organizations, churches, fraternal groups. We're at a crossroads in St. Louis. We can decide to change the trajectory of where it is we seem to be going versus what it is we think we can do.
Today, police told us that they did the best they could last night with the resources they have, bringing in additional detail and moving resources around as they saw fit. I also heard from the mayor's office tonight. They tell me she's speaking directly with young people, finding out what they want and what they need. She's also hoping that pay raises will bring on extra police officers and keep the ones that we have. And finally, she's calling on regional partners to address what she's calling a regional problem. Mike.
Brent, thanks. Investigators believe fireworks are the cause of a fire that destroyed a pavilion in Town and Country. It happened overnight in Drace Park. The actual cause of the fire is still unknown at this time. Tonight, we know the names of the woman and her 2 kids murdered in their St. Anne home. 30-year-old Seychelle Schomburg was found shot to death in her garage on Jane Avenue Monday night. Her 2 kids were 14-year-old Kirian Stevenson and 5-year-old Ushara Stevenson. They were found shot inside the home. They were shot by Schomburg's boyfriend, Coleman McIlvaine, who shot himself. Schomburg's 9-year-old daughter was also shot but survived. A GoFundMe page has been set up to help her. Tonight, we now know the identity of a 10-year-old shot and killed Monday night in Belleville. The Major Case Squad says Brandon Scott was in his room at the time when a bullet struck the window, killing him. Anyone with information is encouraged to contact the Major Case Squad. That number is 618-825-5200. Tonight, a St. Charles County family is mourning the loss of a loving father and husband after an early morning fire. It happened just after midnight at a home on Arlington Drive near Cox Hill Road. The fire started in the garage before spreading quickly throughout the house. 49-year-old Stephen Kelling died in the fire. His wife and daughter made it out safely.
They are screaming, like, Dad, Steve, because they knew that he was still in there, right? They didn't know where he was. They didn't know he was safe. And she starts wailing and screaming, no, this cannot be happening. This can't be real. I don't believe this.
Fire officials say the house was not a total loss.
A love letter one wife wasn't expecting.
We've been married an awful long time. And
I'm not worried about us.
Tonight, the warning police have for couples about a home wrecking scam. No sticker shock in the checkout lane. The local grocery store offering healthier options and helping families make ends meet with a unique pricing policy.
About the getting to the upcoming weekend, the timing on that rain that could have you making some changes this weekend.
Tonight, St. Louis police are looking for the car and motorcycle that fired multiple shots in South City, killing a man and injuring a woman. It happened around 12:30 this morning on Chippewa near Gravois. 37-year-old Wade Featherson died. Anyone with information about the shooting is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 866-371-TIPS. We're learning more about a deadly crash outside of Hannibal that killed one woman and left 2 first responders in critical condition. The Missouri Highway Patrol says 43-year-old Terry Rucker of Bowling Green died after crashing head-on into an ambulance. According to the crash report, Rucker was driving the wrong way on Highway 61 near New London. The impact caused the ambulance to roll over. Survivors and family members of the Parkland school shooting are now being allowed to tour the building ahead of its demolition. 17 people were killed in the 2018 massacre. Tonight, the father, Gina Montalto, is sharing the emotions he felt while walking the halls.
Entering the building where my daughter was shot was among the top 5 hardest things I've ever had to do. Superseded, of course, by seeing her cold body. It's just another step in the process. I'll never close out Gina. She'll always be my firstborn, my only daughter, my beloved daughter. I'm not sure that this is where Gina took her last breath. She did make it to the hospital. But I know that I love her very much, and I always will. And we must all work together to prevent these things from happening.
Tony Montalto co-founded the group Stand with Parkland, which lobbies for gun safety and school safety legislation. More families and parents will be escorted inside over the next few days. A warning tonight about a new type of scam. This one targets couples. A Texas woman got a surprise in the mail. It was a letter from a woman named Gina who claimed to be a private escort and that her husband was cheating on her. She wanted to sell the wife photographic evidence of the infidelity to help pay for her baby's medical issues, a baby she claims was produced by the affair. Fortunately, the wife didn't fall for it.
A, he wouldn't have had an affair, and B, there wouldn't have been a baby come out of it, because he has not been up to it the last several years.
The scammers also sent copies of Gina's driver's license and social security card to prove she was real, but police believe the real Gina was likely victim of identity theft, and the letter was generated by artificial intelligence. The couple will celebrate 46 years of marriage next month. Imagine a grocery store that allowed you to pay only what you could afford. It's a reality in one St. Louis neighborhood. As Michelle Lee reports in tonight's Making Ends Meet, it's also expanding.
In this neighborhood in South St. Louis, there is a growing need. A need to meet people where they are.
Oh yeah, they're sweet.
This is a highly disinvested neighborhood, formerly industrial, so there were a lot of good jobs here at one time. Very few now, so people have to leave the neighborhood in order to work, in order to shop.
Now, thanks to the Marsh Co-op, options are coming to scale.
So this is bulk herbs and spices.
Marsh is a set of gardens, a grocer, and now a new diner all rolled into one. Understanding that not only do people want healthier options, they need help with time, with prepared meals and more.
And the prepared foods are constantly growing, so started out as a very small percentage of what we were doing, and I think they're somewhere between 25 and 30% of our entire sales is the prepared food.
Wow.
Yeah, so not surprising.
What is surprising? The checkout.
When you come to me with your groceries, you have the option of paying what the groceries cost, or you can give yourself today a 10 or 20% discount, or you could choose to donate. That's how it works here. It's whatever you choose.
The standard grocery store might mark up food at 40% or more. At Marsh, it's half that. The sliding scale is meant not only to help people make ends meet, but also start conversations about what access to food could look like.
When I came here, I learned how to garden. Never gardened before. Some vegetables I'd never seen before. So me being here, it's been a whole learning experience. I like to learn and, pass the message. I feel like a seed has been planted in me, and now I'm just out promoting the good cause.
What's harvested goes to market and then later prepared as meals, and finally composted back to a growing garden, tackling a root problem in a community.
What we hope is that people would feel like they have a voice in making development decisions in their neighborhood, making the neighborhood more what they would like it to be.
Co-op grocery stores are a little harder to come by in St. Louis, but co-ops allow shoppers to be part owners, and members get to decide what food and products get stocked on the shelves. Co-ops are typically rooted in their communities and tend to give more money back to the local economy.
Marsh is a nonprofit. It also hosts social and cultural events in the South Broadway neighborhood. All right, let's turn it back over to Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell with that Weather First forecast, and it's going to get a little cooler the next couple of days.
Yeah, and a little less humid, too, courtesy of those showers and thunderstorms today. This was the scene looking from Forest Park back towards downtown, and especially on the Illinois side, east and southeast of St. Louis. We saw some heavier thunderstorms pop up, not a lot in terms of severe weather, but there were pockets where we saw 2 to 3 inches of rainfall. Most of the metro, though, did not see much in the way of accumulating rain. In fact, just a few hundredths as you go back into West St. Louis County, back into St. Charles County. In some spots, not even that. But your 2 to 3 inch band basically off to the east and southeast, including over in Clinton County. Aviston, Sandy sent this picture to us. Her garden looking very good here after getting a couple of inches of rain just out of today's system. There is still a shower, perhaps 2, drifting southeast bound tonight, but there's not much left of them as they kind of work through the region. Cold front sliding in right now. It's not going to cool us off all that much tomorrow. We're in the mid-80s, about 10 degrees cooler, but the dew points will also be cooler, and that means it's a lot more comfortable going into tomorrow afternoon. So odds are we're partly to mostly cloudy out the door early tomorrow morning, and then as we go through the day, the focus for showers and storms well to our south and southwest. We should be partly cloudy, if not mostly sunny during the afternoon hours, less humid, still nice and warm. Temperatures climbing back into the mid-80s for highs, but again with northerly winds and humidity levels a bit lower, it ends up being a pretty nice Thursday across the bi-state region. Now, as we head head into the weekend, there are changes that will happen. Those changes begin after dark on Friday, and overnight Friday night into early Saturday morning, the chances of rain go way up. And it's likely we will wake up on Saturday morning to showers and thunderstorms across much of the area. Those chances drop off some during the afternoon and evening hours on Saturday, but they don't go away. So most of Saturday, if we see sunshine, there won't be much of it. Temperatures will struggle to get back to 80 degrees in some cases. On Sunday, there is a chance we'll see a little more sunshine, a little bit warmer, but the rain chances are lower on Sunday. So if you're making your plans for the weekend, odds are Sunday will have more dry time than Saturday. It's going to be warmer. The potential of severe weather looks limited by the fact that we're only in the lower 80s on Saturday afternoon. Sunday, maybe with a little heat, we get one or two of those storms to get a little cumbersome during the afternoon hours. We'll see. And then Monday, Tuesday, quiet. Then we head into the end of next week and into next weekend, and we're talking about the chance for some rain. Drought monitor comes out tomorrow morning, Mike. Obviously, we've had some rain since last week. We'll see how we fare, but we're getting into a pattern where at least we had the opportunity to see some rainfall.
All right, Scott, thanks. Frank is here with what's next in sports.
So, Mike, who is the most successful St. Louis professional athlete as we speak right now? I'll tell you shortly. Cardinals and Marlins in a wild one. And Yuri Collins in the NBA? Stick around.
The Sports Desk is sponsored by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer 10 years running.
If nothing else, they are creative. There has never been a Cardinal team that has found so many different ways to lose. Never. Tonight it's on the closer, Jordan Hicks, who's been really good lately. He's been terrific. But there's just something about this team. It's not happening. Matthew Liberatore started and got one person out and gave up 4 runs. But here come the Cardinals. Nolan Arenado had 3 doubles. This one scored 2, and it cuts the lead to 5-2. He's slugging nearly 500. And then in the 3rd inning, Nolan Gorman clobbers one for his 17th home run, and we have a tie game at 5. Let's go to the 9th inning. The Cardinals down to their last strike, and Jordan Walker destroys the baseball. 444 feet, a 2-run shot, 9-8 Cards. They're going to win a game, right? Bottom 9, 2 on. A slow roller to Jordan Hicks. Get the second out. Nope, the ball will sail over Paul Goldschmidt's head. Have you ever seen a walk-off high throw to first? Have you? And the Cardinals sink to another loss. Marlins 10, Cardinals 9. While the Cardinals continue to sink deeper and deeper, and they're 12.5 games out as we speak, selling time could be right around the corner. Contending teams will want pitching, and the Cardinals have some expiring contracts that could be of interest.
And the Cardinals are in a specific position, especially with Montgomery and Flaherty, to potentially trade for value. The problem, of course, Frank, is what asset do the Cardinals need the most in the future? Well, that is starting pitching. So I can see the Cardinals parting with maybe one of those 3. Relievers like Jordan Hicks are sure to net a hefty return, especially at the trade deadline. But it would be difficult for me to see the Cardinals trading both Flaherty and Montgomery, specifically because their need for pitching, their own individual need, is so strong come next season. But certainly, this is the prime time to gain value on one of those starters.
Yuri Collins playing in the NBA Summer League for the Warriors against the Kings, and watch him steam to the hole. Later, he's going to go backdoor. Yuri, nice game, 4 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Let's hope the former SLU star can make it in the league. So the Bills lost a passer, but they got a shooter. His name is Jordy Sursik, and he didn't exactly come from South County, but rather Serbia. Just committed to SLU. Now, I have no real idea on how he will impact Division I games in the States, but Travis Ford tells me he can really fill it up. And as you can see by the video, Sursik does have a good-looking jump shot.
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
It's the best story in St. Louis sports, and nothing is really close. City SC is in first place by 3 points. It will be a busy week. Saturday, City travels to Toronto. Then on Wednesday, one of the biggest games of the year, they will play at second place LAFC. And you can also make a case for Roman Berkey being the most successful St. Louis athlete as we speak. He has the 2nd most saves in the MLS. He has the 2nd most wins, and Berkey has 5 clean sheets. For those of you who don't have Sambas, that means shutouts. And did I mention, he will be one of 2 city players representing the organization at the All-Star game.
It means a lot to me personally, how I came into this league. I mean, I put myself a lot under pressure in every game to do well, to help the team, and obviously it's not just me, it's the whole team that I think at the moment nobody, or we can see that it works out, and nobody was expecting us to do that good.
And that will do it in sports.
Frank, thanks. We'll be right back. Not much to cheer about for the Cardinals these days, but the Cards and Budweiser are teaming up to offer a 4th of July discount on tickets. Right now, you can get tickets as low as $4.44 for select games this month through August. Tickets are available until the end of the day tomorrow or while supplies last, which, with the way they're playing, could be a long time. There you have it, 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next. Don't forget to start your day with Today in St. Louis, beginning at 4 a.m. And have a great tomorrow.